Lesson 15 for Eureka. I am using a different recording strategy, so I'm not doing it via Zoom. You can see me via Zoom just so you can see my face for a few minutes, but you won't be able to see me during the whole lesson. I'm hoping that this will help with the audio so that you can hopefully hear the lesson a little better. I am going to still be pausing it and interjecting some comments, and I also might be doing some work using my document camera here and there, so hopefully this lesson is not too long. We're going to be practicing fluency when it comes to subtracting, so that's kind of seeing how fast you can subtract and doing what we've done the past 2 days in a more rapid time frame. So that means a little bit faster, okay?
My name is Ms. Bertuman, and today we will be subtracting fluently while using the standard algorithm. This is what you'll need for today's lesson. Let's begin. Please say this problem with me. 253,421 minus 75,832. Draw a tape diagram to represent this problem. What number represents our whole? 253,421. What is the part? 75,832. The variable a will represent our unknown part. Let's look now across the whole number, 253,421.
So before we move on, I just want to explain that she is using this concept of a tape diagram to help us remember to go back and check our work. So we have our whole, which is our larger number, is our whole. The part is what we're subtracting, and we're trying to figure out what is left. So what is left would be our difference.
Do we have enough units in each column to subtract the part, 75,832? No, we don't. So we're not ready to subtract. But let's get ready. We'll start with the ones column. Do we have enough ones in the whole to subtract the part? No. 1 1 is less than 2 ones. What should we do? We can change 110 for 10 ones. That means we'll now have 110 and 11 ones. Look now in the tens column. Do we have enough tens in the whole to subtract the part? No, we don't. 110 is less than 3 tens. What should we do? We need to change 100 for 10 tenths. That means we now have 3 hundredths and 11 tenths. Let's look now in the hundreds place. Do we have enough hundreds in the whole to subtract the part? No, we don't. 3 hundredths is less than 8 hundredths. What should we do? We need to change 1,000 for 10 hundredths. That means we now have 2 thousandths and 13 hundredths. What about in the thousands column? Are we ready to to subtract? No. 2 thousandths is less than 5 thousandths. What should we do? We need to change 1/10,000 for 10 thousandths. That means we have 4 10,000ths and 12 thousandths. Let's look now in our column for 10 thousandths. Are we ready to subtract? No. 4 10 thousandths is less than 7 10 thousandths. What should we do? We need to change 100,000 for 10 10 thousandths. That means we now have 100,000 and 14 10 thousandths. Now are we ready to subtract? Yes, we're ready to subtract. I'd like you to go ahead and pause the video here to complete the subtraction problem. We'll compare our work afterwards. What is the difference between 253,421 and 75,832? The difference is 177,589. Therefore, A equals 177,589. Let's double check our work. We'll add the difference and the known part to see if we get the whole.
It is always, always, always important that you check your work. I've stressed this so many times with both of my classes. Make sure you check your work. That way you will always get the right answer, because if you check your work and you don't get your whole number, then you know you did something wrong and can go back and fix it.
Do this on your boards now with me. Is our answer correct? Yes, this is correct because the difference, 177,589, plus the known part, 75,832, equals the whole, 253,428. Say this problem with me. 1,000 minus 528. Let's draw a tape diagram to represent this problem. Go ahead and label the known numbers, and then of course the unknown with the variable a. Let's now look across the whole number to see if we're ready to subtract. Are we ready to subtract? No. So let's get ready, starting with the ones column. Are there enough ones in the whole to subtract the part? No. 0 ones is less than 8 ones. I need to ungroup one unit of 10. What do you notice? There are no 10s to ungroup. Let's now look at the hundreds. There are no hundreds to ungroup either. In order to get 10 ones, we need to ungroup 1,000. Watch as I do this on the place value chart. So our whole number is 1,000. I change 1,000 for 0 thousands and 10 hundreds. I then change 100 for 10 tenths. So I now have 9 hundredths and 10 tenths. Then I change 110 for 10 ones. So I now have 9 tens and 10 ones.
So I really, really like how she showed her regrouping in her place value chart, because it really shows you that you have to be very, very careful, especially when you're regrouping across zeros, because I know a lot of times fourth graders speed through this process and they do not regroup correctly, and they end up with either too many nines or too many tens, and get all kinds of messed up, and then end up getting their answer incorrect.
Now are we ready to subtract? Yes. So we are going to solve for 9 hundredths, 9 tens, 10 ones, minus 5 hundredths, 2 tens, 8 ones. Pause the video here to do the subtraction problem, and we'll compare our answers when we get back.
So go ahead and do this subtraction problem on your own.
Pause the video here to do the subtraction problem, and we'll compare our answers when we get back. What is the difference between 1,000 and 528? The difference is 472. Let's now mark this on our tape diagram as 8 equals 472. And then, of course, we'll double check our work. We'll add the part that we know with the difference. Yes, it equals our whole of 1,000. Please read this next problem with me. 1 million minus 345,528. Go ahead and draw a tape diagram to represent this problem. Be sure to label the known and also the unknown with the variable a. What do you notice when you look across the whole 1 million? There are a lot of zeros. We're going to have to regroup 6 times. We are definitely not ready yet to subtract. This is what I'd like you to do. You're going to pause the video here to get the number 1 million ready to subtract. Be sure to rename the units in the subtraction problem and come back when you're ready.
Okay, so go ahead and regroup all of these numbers on your own and see if you end up with the correct grouping when you're ready to unpause the video. You don't need to subtract yet, just do all of your regrouping. Get your subtraction problem ready to subtract.
Come back when you're ready. How did you do? I regrouped, and when I did so, I now have 900 thousandths, 9 ten thousandths, 9 thousandths, 9 hundredths, 9 tens, and 10 ones. Now we're ready to subtract. Go ahead and subtract on your board as I do it here now.
Go ahead and subtract first and then unpause so you can walk through with her doing her subtraction.
What is the difference between 1,000,000 and 345,528? The difference is 654,472. Let's pause the video here and add the two parts to see if we get the correct whole amount. I'll be here when you get back. When we added the two parts, we got 1,000,000. We did it. Great work. Please read this word problem with me. Last year, there were 620,073 people in attendance at a local parade. This year, there were 456,795 people in attendance. How many more people were in attendance last year? Let's take a moment now to draw a tape diagram that represents this problem. I'm now going to write out the problem vertically. Look across the whole number. Are we ready to subtract? No, we are not ready to subtract. This is what I'd like you to do next. Pause the video here to get the whole number, 620,007.
Go ahead and get your whole number ready to subtract. I paused it before she was done with her sentence because the transitions have been so fast. Go ahead and get your number ready to subtract, then unpause the video.
73, ready to subtract. Once this number is ready, begin to solve the problem. I'll be here so we can compare answers afterwards.
If your number is ready to subtract, go ahead and solve your problem.
I'll be here so we can compare answers afterwards. Please say the equation with me. 620,073 minus 456,795 equals 163,278. Therefore, A equals 163,278. Let's now write a statement to answer the question. Read the statement with me. There were 163,278 more people in attendance last year. We did it! Let's now move into today's assignment. For your Lesson 15 problem set, your must-do problems are here on the screen. Go ahead and set a timer or watch the clock for 10 minutes to complete these problems. If you have any additional time, feel free to work through any other problems on the pages. For today's lesson, we practice subtracting fluently using the standard algorithm. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and be sure to check in with your teacher. I'll see you around soon for another Eureka Math lesson.
You guys did great work today. Make sure that when you're going through your subtraction questions, you take your time and make sure you regroup everything you need to regroup before you start subtracting. And always make sure to check your work.